So you're trying to go from survival to stable, okay? And then once you're stable, you can go from stable to success. Then when you go from success, you can take from success to significance. Then after you have significance, you go from significance to legacy. And so that's the trajectory as you go. Sometimes you get to certain stages faster than others, and then you have a setback and you got to go back down to survival.
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
But then the process starts all over again. And it's a choice, I realized in 2008, I had 6 condos in Scottsdale, a bunch of fourplexes, and I was over leveraged. Okay. And then the mortgage meltdown hit, and we had to reposition everything. I had to move back into my little condo that we had, saved my hide essentially at the time. But you learn from your mistakes, and then you realize life goes on.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Anthony Peterson. He's a real estate professional out of Southern California. He has a lot to share with us. He's launching a fund right now. So thank you for being here, Anthony.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate you having me.
And tell us just how you got into real estate in the first place.
Okay, it goes way back when I was like 23, 1998. I got into real estate. I started with Prudential California Realty in San Mateo when I was 23, just as a realtor. And then in 2007, I got my broker's license. And then I was broker and realtor for about 24 years up through COVID.
Nice. So right away, you just found a passion for it.
Yeah, well, it was easy because I fell in love with my wife at the time. So it kind of like made me stay in to pursue the woman of my dreams, which worked out. We married 24 years. But yeah, it was making a lot of money at an early part of my age, and it got me in the professional swing right away, which was good. It was in Silicon Valley. It was a great time to be there during the com bursts and all that, the internet explosion. So that really helped my career.
I actually grew up in San Carlos, and that was right around that time where it was just crazy to see everybody just flood into that area.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I lived in San Carlos and Redwood City my entire life before I moved to Temecula. Yeah, I lived in San Carlos.
Yeah, amazing. I know. And now when I, because I don't live there anymore, whenever I go back, it's just a totally different city than what I grew up in.
Sure. Laurel Street's still pretty cool. There's a lot of shops on the sidewalks now. They have a lot of sidewalk dining and whatnot. I love San Carlos.
It's great. It's so great. So tell us about your experience through COVID. You had kind of a hardship during that time.
Yeah, what happened to me was I used to syndicate private money, and we would buy apartment buildings in distress, fix them up, reposition them, and then sell them for a profit. And I syndicated private money. They were I guess you can call them investors, but I used them for debt only. So they were like my private banks, kind of like a Rolodex of accredited investors who wanted a better return. They were okay with a little bit of a risk. And so I created what's called a multiple beneficiary deed of trust.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Okay. And we would use that as their instrument to secure their investment against the property. It was basically like a mortgage document, same as B of A or any of the big banks would use. Deed of trust, a promissory note gets recorded on the property. It was a mortgage essentially. And that's how their money was secured. The issue that we had was when COVID hit, they had what's called an eviction moratorium. Okay. And for hardships, people didn't have to pay rent. And as a landlord, I had to maintain the properties, pay all the utilities and bills, keep the units clean and healthy living, and pay all the debt on it without collecting any rent. Okay. And unfortunately, a lot of the tenants took advantage of this. And for 3.5 years, almost 4 years, while they kept the eviction moratorium, extending it and extending it in Oakland, California in particular, I got wrapped up in a lot of litigations and we had to let go of all the buildings, and it was a big mess. I was a personal guarantor of almost $100 million in loans at the time. And then when no one's paying rent, your buildings are essentially worthless on paper. You can't raise capital. No one was buying apartments in Oakland at the time. And you can't sell or buy or raise capital or anything. So eventually, you get squeezed. So I've
And
had
what
5 years of litigation. It's been kind of horrible.
Wow. And what percentage of your tenants weren't paying?
Like 80%.
So you were wrapped up in litigation after this.
Yeah, all the private investors and private lenders that we used, almost 100 of them, I think 10 of them rallied around each other and did a massive lawsuit against me and my business.
Ugh. And like during that time, what was your mindset? That must have been so crushing.
Honestly, the mindset was just to protect my family at all costs, make sure the roof was over our head, and that my kids, because at the time my oldest daughter was graduating high school, she was going into college. I had to make sure that she was taken care of. And my youngest was still in the house and at home in high school. We had to make sure my wife was okay and my kids were okay. That was really the
Yeah.
main focus. So I took it all on my shoulders, and you do what you have to do,
Yeah. Yeah. And to hear that moratorium lasted 4 years
They
is
kept
surprising to me.
extending it and extending it. It was supposed to be like
Yeah.
6 months, and then they kept extending it and then extending it. Most of California didn't keep extending it. It was like Alameda County, Los Angeles County.
Got it. Yeah. So, you're involved in these lawsuits and you're trying to protect yourself. How did you crawl your way out of that?
Well, eventually I ran out of money and I couldn't pay my attorneys anymore. So they sued me too.
My
My own
gosh.
attorney sued me because I couldn't pay the dues or their fees. So what I ended up doing is we ended up representing ourselves and settling on our own. So we settled the lawsuits. So
Wow.
we ended up paying one point. There's some things that are confidential about the settlement, but I'll just say it this way: it's settled for over 10 years. There's payments due over 10 years, and they equate to about what the folks who sued me. It equates to about their legal fees. So really, they
Wow.
did it all because they were pissed. It was emotional. They wanted to put me through the meat grinder, and then in the end, they're getting reimbursed their legal fees spread out over 10 years. So who really won? Nobody. The attorneys won. The attorneys
Right.
and the lawyers have no financial incentive to settle because they want
Mhm.
billable hours. So the more they can
Totally.
spin you in the wind and keep it going, the more secure their Porsche payments are, And so there's
Absolutely.
no financial incentive for attorneys to settle unless they're on a contingency and they're going after some insurance company.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Right.
But otherwise, they do very little to try to settle.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah. So I went up
Wow.
against I'm not a
Yeah.
lawyer, but we went up against highest paying law firms in San Francisco. And, I think we did fairly decent considering.
Well, you're a lawyer now. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what we
That's
went through.
incredible. Wow, that's incredible. And like, it's also amazing to hear that, you still want to move forward and you still love this industry and you still want to, build for yourself.
Well, the thing is, it's like I'm 50 years old. Okay, I got a long way to go, and if I give up now, I'm setting a horrible precedent to my daughters, to my family.
Mm.
You can't give up. You just can't give up. There's too many things to live for. There's too many opportunities out there to go for it, and to sell yourself short in this life, that's a sin. You got to go for it. So.
Did you have maybe like peers or colleagues or friends that were kind of going through similar things with
I
this
had a few
moratorium?
friends that um had a little bit of hard times, like some restaurant owners I knew that had a hard time during COVID. But no peers that went through what we did, that I did, because most people play it small. Most realtors aren't going after syndicating tens of millions of dollars. They're just trying to sell a house to, their friend. So I did things a bit differently. I was out there trying to build something big, So that's what happened.
So then after that, you got into construction.
I did. I was literally kind of so sour. I had such a sour taste in my mouth over everything, and I wasn't sure what to do with myself. And honestly, I went through a phase of like moping around, and my wife's like, "Dude, you better do something with yourself. This is getting out of hand." And so, short story long, I have so much project management experience. We've gutted 5-story buildings down to the studs and rebuilt them. We built buildings new, we built houses new. So we had a lot of construction experience dealing with permits, inspectors, building and planning, architects, all that stuff. So it's kind of a natural fit, like to say, well, let's go renovate some houses for people. I know how to do it cheap. I can make a profit. So that was kind of the philosophy around it. But in reality, I hated it. Yeah, I hated it. Bidding bathroom remodels? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just not
What
for
did you
me.
hate about it?
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I have big ideas in my mind. I'm used to dealing with tens of millions of dollars. I'm used to dealing with people that are talking about big investments and big ideas. And I just felt like I was playing too small and it wasn't working for me.
Yeah. So what did you go into next?
What I decided to do was launch a real estate hedge fund. It's called the 8855 Fund. And what we're going to do is we're going to target underperforming or distressed apartments in different markets: Nevada, Arizona, North and South Dakota, Texas, Florida, maybe California too, because it's where I live. I am a little gun shy with all the regulations, but I do know that there's still great opportunity. So I'm not going to just discount it. I'll underwrite the property and see if it makes sense. But that's what we're targeting. And the exit strategy is the tokenization of the assets. So when it's big enough, when I figured I'm going to raise about $250 million in the next 5 years, I could leverage that up to $500 million in assets very safely. And then with the appreciation in the operations, we should have $1 billion exit in 10 years, quite conservatively, through the tokenization of the assets. So right now, that's becoming a bit more mainstream. People understand what tokenization is. It's basically like the digital issuance of shares. It's like digital shares of your corporation or your assets instead of paper shares like on the stock market.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
They're digital shares or coins put on the blockchains. And the blockchains are totally transparent. You can't manipulate them. Once it's uploaded, it's there for everyone to see. And investors are changing what they expect, as far as returns, transparency, technology, user friendliness, and all that stuff they want on the up and up. And tokenization solves a lot of those problems.
Got it.
And it also gets you into global liquidity pools, which is a big deal.
And what would you say to someone who thinks that blockchain is just kind of too volatile to even be associated with?
Well, I would say it's a newer technology. It's a newer industry. And we're, the people that go out and ahead of everyone, kind of like, they're forging the paths. Those are the ones that kind of take the lumps the most and are looked at as more, risk takers or whatever, the pioneers of certain industries. Every industry goes up and down. I mean, real estate in itself could be volatile. I mean, 2008, everything crashed. Um, the commercial markets and office markets have crashed completely. So things go up and down, But if you look at success doesn't go in a straight line. It's ups, downs, all arounds. And blockchains in and of itself is more of an industry. The assets within the blockchains are what's really volatile. The values and the prices of coins go up and down. But the tokenization of real world assets, those tokens value are based on the actual assets. Okay. And the technology that they use, they program the blockchains. It's called smart contracts. Okay. They have smart contracts and these things called oracles. It's like a technical term. They add it to the coin or the blockchain where the real world assets are held. And these oracles take information from third parties like public records or real-time sales, comparable data, and then the asset managers can also upload like quarterly statements and the new rent rolls and things like that. So then with AI and the smart contracts, it can constantly update the value of the actual assets.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's how it works in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech guy, but in a sense, that's how that works. So you can monitor the value quite easily. And then the coins that are associated with your assets will be listed on an exchange. And then you can trade that for a different cryptocurrency, which then you can exchange for fiat currency and cash out. I believe that's how it works.
Amazing. I mean, that's so interesting. Yeah, I didn't know exactly how that worked actually.
Yeah.
So sounds like you're very much an adopter of, technology. We were talking about AI a little bit before this call and just how you have to get on board with these things before they crush you.
You do. You adapt or die.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, now you're in this fund. It just sounds like you have such tenacity and you just don't quit. And I would love for you to just talk more about that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you never know who's watching you, and people are counting on you, whether you know it or not. And your life is an example, whether you want it to be or not. And it could be an example of what to do or what not to do. I'd rather have my life be an example of what to do, even though I'm not perfect. So honoring your mother and father, making sure your kids think you're a hero, making sure your
Yeah.
wife thinks you're a hero, even though they see all your bumps and bruises, right? So I do it for them. I can
Yeah.
sleep on a dirt floor.
Yeah.
It's not really for me.
Yeah.
It's about legacy building. I'm a man, so I look at things like this. You're trying to go from survival to stable, okay? And then once you're stable, you can go from stable to success. Then when you go from success, you can take from success to significance. Then after you have significance, you go from significance to legacy. And so that's the trajectory as you go. Sometimes you get to certain stages faster than others, and then you have a setback and you got to go back down to survival.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then the process starts all over again. And it's a choice. I realized in 2008, I had six condos in Scottsdale, a bunch of fourplexes, and I was over leveraged. Okay. And then the mortgage meltdown hit, and we had to reposition everything. I had to move back into my little condo that we had, saved my hide essentially at the time. But you learn from your mistakes, and then you realize life goes on. The sun comes up the next day. Are you going to be depressed today as you like yesterday? The world just moves on with or without you. And so you have to choose to participate in that. And I have a family. And so I choose to participate. And I can't do that if I'm feeling sorry for myself or if I quit or I give up and all that shit that comes with failure. So you have to be able to shed all that and keep going. So
Yeah, it's very
I chose to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like you've definitely chosen to build your legacy. It's very inspiring, especially through hardships.
No, I appreciate it. It's the right way. It's the right thing to do. I've gone through months and weeks and months of capitulation and hardships and not knowing what to do. And, I'm a human being, but in the end, it's like, what are you going to do? You want to dig your grave today or not? So you can die or keep living. So I choose to
Right.
keep living, right?
And just to kind of wrap this up, what is a lesson that you wish you knew getting into the industry?
I think, honestly, it's a great question. I've learned so many lessons throughout, my time in real estate. I guess the one thing that I wish I knew before I got into it, I guess what I wish I knew was not everyone that's nice to you is your friend.
Yeah.
Not everyone that's nice to you or that smiles at you or is even interested in what you have to say is your friend or is looking out for you.
Right.
So there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess that's the best. I guess I wish I knew that. I was a little naive at first, right?
Right.
Assuming
Yeah.
everyone would want to see you succeed. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. There's definitely that like delusional optimism in the beginning of anyone's career. And I think it's also a life lesson too. I think that applies to most things in life as well.
You're right. It does.
Yeah. Well, your story is so inspiring and I'm so, happy to see this fund, see you create this fund. And I have no doubt that it's going to be incredibly successful. So how can people find you and how can people work with you?
Yeah. So what you can do is you can call me directly on my cell phone. It's 951-365-612. I'm also on LinkedIn, Anthony Peterson. You can look me up. I'm on LinkedIn, Anthony Peterson. I'm also on Facebook. You can look me up, Anthony Peterson. I'm there. I'll also send you the pitch deck for the fund. Breaks it down on what we're doing and how we're going to do it. So you can have it just for your files. You can have a look.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I encourage everyone to reach out to Anthony. Yeah. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate it. Anytime.
Wonderful. And thank you everybody for listening. And we will see you back next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.